Hey everyone, and welcome to another DIY do-it-yourself video by me. This one pertains to fixing something rather than creating something. So, just a little backstory. I live in a basement, as you can see, the window there, that's a basement window. So, the furnace is on this level of the house, and it gets really hot down here. Pretty much, it's hot down here all year, no matter what the thermostat is set on, no matter like what windows are open or closed or whatever. It always feels like a goddamn pressure cooker in this basement. So as you can see, there is a fan running behind me, and the window actually is open. You can see my shop fan there sitting on the unmade bed. So, and normally there's a fan sitting here. Yes, I probably should have dusted the dresser, but I wanted y'all to see where the fan sat, so I left the dust there. And so anyway, the whole point of having this fan on with the window open is that it's cold out today, kind of, so this fan is kind of cooling air in from that window. Hey kitty. And then going through the hallway, there's another Frankenstein fan out here, pulling that air from the other fan into the back in my craft area. And there's another fan blowing in here, and it actually is kind of stuffy in here, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this fan up. So anyway, the fan that goes on the dresser, that is supposed to sit where the big oval shaped spot is in the dust. I have had that fan for maybe 2.5 years, something like that, and maybe 6 months to 8 months ago, it's like I'd run it at night and it would squeal really loud, and it wasn't doing that before. It just sort of started doing it one day, and so it was an inexpensive fan, but I like it a lot because it picks up all the metallic elements in the decor in my bedroom. So I really like to fix it so that I can run it at night, because I mean, I'm sick and tired of waking up sweaty. Like I said, I mean, it gets hot down here, especially at night. I'll kick the covers off, and then I still wake up like sweat, like between my boobs and in my armpits and everything. So anyway, here is said squealing fan. This is the back. Yeah, it's quite dusty. And then turn it over. But so yeah, this is what it looks like. Just a cute little copper colored fan, and it squeals real loud when you turn it on. So yeah, it just matches all the little metallic elements in my room. I've got a lot of like silver and bronze and copper in the bedroom. So alright, I'm going to, I guess, put the camera down in just a second, and I'll plug the fan in and show you guys exactly what it's doing, and then I'll go over what you need in order to fix a fan. So yes, that is what this video is about. It's about fixing fans. So anyway, good gosh, I really hope I can fix it. I'm going to be playing this by ear just a little bit. I've fixed fans before, and you know, I've fixed clocks before. I've done these things before, so hopefully I can get this done, and it'll be a helpful, worthwhile video for y'all to watch. Alright, so I've got the fan plugged in, and I'm going to show you all the back real quick. It's got a high and low setting on the back. So I'm just going to turn it on. I'm going to put it on high. Alright. Well, right now it's not squealing, but it does it enough. Yep, there it goes. Yeah. And it seems like it's struggling on the low setting, so not exactly sure what's going on with this fan, but I'm going to try to fix it. So now that you heard that atrocious noise, yeah, it's pretty kind of demonic sounding. Yeah, hopefully I can fix it, because yeah, having it on at night, it just makes that noise all night long. It doesn't stop. I mean, I can, you know, thump on it and like rattle it around, and it still makes the noise. And so as you saw in the low gear, in the slow setting, or low setting rather, it seems like it's struggling, like it'll turn and then kind of slow down, then get back up to speed again. So hopefully I can get this thing fixed so I can actually use it without losing sleep and being miserable and having my ears assailed. Oh, great. Yeah, Kat, you pick the best times, don't you? Alright, fan, let's get you taken care of. So most people, I would think, have enough sense to do this, but anytime you're going to work on something that has a power cord, unplug it. So I'm just going to do that right now. I'm just going to drape the plug that way, out of my way. Alright, real quick, I'm going to go over what you need to do this. And of course, like I said, I'm kind of playing this by ear, so I might get in there and discover that I need other things, not other than just what I have, or something the opposite. So anyway, you're going to need, for this particular fan, a Phillips head screwdriver. Most household items, clocks, fans, radios, coffee makers, toasters, things like that, usually take a Phillips head. So and always make sure it's a screwdriver that will actually fit into the screw without too much play. Alright, otherwise you'll strip the screw. And you'll need something to get the dust off with. Obviously a rag. And I'm pretty sure that lubrication's the problem with this thing, so I've got some sewing machine oil, but it's actually just basic machine oil, really. Whatever you do, don't use anything silicone based, because silicone over time will congeal and then the problem will recur. It'll stick, and then your little machine or whatever it is you're fixing will start malfunctioning again because of the congealed lubrication. So, don't get me wrong, silicone lubrication does have its purposes. Well, not those purposes necessarily, but it's got its applications. For instance, on a treadmill, that's what you're supposed to use to lubricate a treadmill, is silicone-based lubricant. So, got it flipped over. First thing I'm going to do, oh, and you need a little dish or something to put the hardware in. I've just got like a little used yogurt dish. I wash these and save them because you never know when you're going to need something like this. They come in quite handy. So this is what the screws are going to go into. Alright, now, get your cleaner, give it a spray onto the rag. I'm going to mush it in a little bit. I'm just going to get all this dust off of here so that it's not getting all over me while I'm working, because I actually do have pretty bad allergies. So, and if you've got allergies, I recommend you do the same thing. Also, it just makes it easier to deal with, you know. Oh yeah, there's definitely dust on here. Gross. Yep. Alrighty. Alright. There's dust on top. Oh boy, dust on the sides. Definitely dust on the front. And I'm probably going to have to do this several more times as I'm working on this thing. Get the dust off the base. Okay. Well, that wasn't too bad. You can see a bit of a spot there, but nothing serious. Alright, I'm going to put this stuff out of the way, recap our cleaner so we don't lose the cap. Now, I'm going to lay it face down. For one thing, it's nice and flat. So, alright. Let's open this thing up, shall we? I don't think we're going to have to take the entire fan housing apart, just the motor in the back. Come on. Okay, well, you don't want to come out. Come on now. Come on. There. Ah, damn it. Alright. Damn, why won't you come out? Huh. Very strange. There we go. Gotcha. Alright. And when you unscrew something like this, you can see it's got 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. I would do crisscross at a time. It just, for some reason, it's just easier for me to deal with personally. I mean, obviously you can take them off in whatever order you want, but it just seems easier that way. That way you can tilt it over to get the screws out, and it'll stay in place. Alright, so get these off. And the reason I'm doing these one at a time is because if, say, I unscrewed all 4 of them, you know, and then left them in there and then tilted it over, what would happen is all 4 of the screws would fall down onto the table and then possibly roll off and end up on the floor. And I don't want that. I want to keep the hardware with the fan. So I don't want to have to crawl around in the floor looking for screws, and also I don't want to run the risk of not being able to find it and then having no hardware to put it back together with. Come on. Damn it. Okay. Gotcha. Alright. Oof. Alright. Okay. Yeah, it appears the fan blades are, in fact, yeah. Yuck, it's dusty in there. Alright, looks like I'm going to have to take the rear housing off the screen, or the shroud, the guard, whatever you want to call this stupid thing. Alright, so, there's one. Alright, one more to get the housing off. Just a hint, tip, whatever, when you are unscrewing hardware out of something like this, make sure you press down hard enough with the screwdriver to actually make the screw move. Some of them can be in like really tight, and if you're turning and you're not paying attention to what you're doing, you'll strip the screw before you know it. So applying plenty of downward pressure into the head of the screw actually will helps prevent stripping. Alright, so there's the empty shell. It's kind of interesting. It looks like a spaghetti pot or like a colander or something. It's cute. Anyway, so I'm going to set that aside. Alright, now we can see the motor assembly, and it is extremely dusty, really nasty. Yuck. Alright. I wonder if I can get this off. Nope, it's not going to break. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my cloth again. I'm just going to use a little bitty corner. Alright, give it a shake, give it a spray. Ooh, looks like mousse. Alright, it's going to go top to bottom. Going to get all the filth off the fan blades. Yeah, ugh, that's gross. Alright, need a little more of this stuff. Alright. Ew, that's disgusting. Yeah. Just gonna keep on going with this. Alright. Now, it's a little easier to work with. Just gonna get the bottoms too, or sides, backs, I don't know. I guess based on the position it's in, it would be the bottom or the back. Not that it matters. I'm going to go ahead and wipe down the inside of the shroud. Alright. Getting all the dust. I should probably be using like a Q-tip and rubbing alcohol to do this, but I don't have rubbing alcohol. I do have Q-tips, but I don't like the idea of like Q-tip fibers getting stuck in moving parts. That doesn't sound like it would be a very good idea to let that happen. So, okay. Alright. That thing real quick. The little axle, I don't know what you call this thing. Drive shaft, differential, I don't know. Okay, now, so as you can see, alright, you can see there's a pin of some sort. Alright, now we've got your little connectors for the electricity. Don't mess with those unless you really know what you're doing. And so you can see here there are screws that can allow you to actually take the physical fan out of the motor. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to do just that. I'm going to put the cleaning stuff aside. Why is that all runny? Alright. So, moving on. I'm going to take this bracket off if I can get it to loosen up. Come on. Damn. It does not want to budge. Maybe this will move. Ugh. Alright, they're not moving. I can't break them. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tilt it up like this, and you can see, get in real close so y'all can get a better look at this. Alright, you can see the green thing right there? That's the fan cylinder, and it's magnetically, it's magnetism is what makes it do what it does. And see how it turns with the fan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few drops of the sewing machine oil down in there and let it penetrate, and then come back in a little bit, plug it in, and see what we got. And this thing is shut too tight. Come on. Today's just not my day with this. Hopefully something useful does come out of this video. Okay, so I'm just going to put some drops around that little cylinder. Just not a lot, just some. I'm going to try to get some onto that pin as well. Alright. Damn, I can't see what I'm doing. Alright, I'm going to do that on a few different sides and turn it around a little bit while I'm doing it. There we go. Oh, and when you're dropping lubricant into some piece of machinery like this, and you're having trouble getting into tight little nooks and crannies, you can take a soda straw or something and put it on the end of your bottle of lubricant, and then work the straw down in there so that you can get in tight spaces without your fingers and without the bottle blocking what you're trying to do. Actually, it seems like it's moving a little easier. Huh, maybe this fixed the problem. At least I hope it does. Okay. See, when you put too much lubricant on something like this, and then you turn it on, you know, it'll take a while, but the lubricant will eventually all be splattered out. The excess will be splattered out, and it'll end up all in your fan, because that actually happened with my sewing machine. A couple months ago I oiled it, but I used too much, and then it took like 2 months for all the oil to extra oil to work its way out, and it would drip down the needle and into the bobbin compartment. So yeah, I had to deal with that for a couple months before I could actually use it to sew anything again. So yeah, don't overdo it. I'm not going to close that up all the way. Alright, so let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and plug it in right now and see if there's any kind of difference. And make sure that the switches are okay, good, it's in off position. Alright. Yeah, so the reason I checked the switches before I plugged it in is because the fan is out and exposed. So if I had accidentally pushed this button while I was fiddling with it and then plugged it in without checking first, it would come on and it would end up injuring me, or it would, you know, or it would get ruined somehow, you know, fall off the table, hit the floor, that sort of thing, and I'd rather fix something like this than have to replace it. So, alright, moment of truth, let's see what happens, and hopefully I don't get oils all over my face. And that's on low. Alright, put it on high. Yeah, it's not nearly as bad. It seems like it's wobbling a little, like there's some play in the alignment or something. It's not... Huh. Huh. Alright, y'all will have to forgive that moment of awkwardness and then like the lapse in filming of what I did. So the fan is plugged in right now. Just I don't know why I need to say that, but anyway, I'm gonna get this out of the way. Alright, so I couldn't get the screws that are holding the blade assembly off. I couldn't break them. So what I did was I was able to unscrew the screws that were holding the motor assembly onto this back plate. So what I did was I flipped it over and added a whole bunch more oil, like all around that little green disc, like just all around it, all down inside where the pin is. So, no, Mama's busy, sorry. Mama's busy. So, and I did have to take a pair of flat pliers to remove this little, this nut that was holding the blades in place, and I was able to get this thing out of the way. So, yeah. Cat! Jesus. Sorry, guys. So anyway, now I'm going to make sure, again, it's on the off position. Okay, yes, it's already plugged in, doesn't matter. Damn it, Cat, Mama's busy, and you're making a racket, so now I'm going to turn it on and see what happens. What do you know? No noise. So I guess what the problem was that dust was down in that cylinder housing. So, and that's what was causing the noise. It just needed lubrication and the dust wiped out of it. Alright, so next I'm going to put the blade on real quick just to make sure it's going to do what it's supposed to do. Come on. Alright, oh, there it is. And you'll find that when you're working on a fan, the hole right here will have like a flat side and a round side, like a letter D. And you'll notice that the pin that it goes on will be the same way. So, to get it back on, you just basically it's basically just lining up the shape, like putting a square peg into a square hole. So, I'm going to close up my oil. I'm going to take that little little nut, and just put it back on there. Come on. Damn it. And when you take these things on and off, they're not going to be righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. On a fan, it's the opposite. So if you want to loosen a nut that's holding a fan blade assembly together, you actually turn it to the right, clockwise, to loosen it. So I'm just going to tighten that on just a little bit. Whoop. Come on, behave. There we go. Okay. Not fully tight, just snug enough to where I can find out what I need to find out without the blade coming off. So, here we go. Ha! No screaming! Yeah! Look at that. Alright, now I'm going to put it on low. And still no screaming! Yes! Alright. Oh, it feels so good. Ha! Ha ha! Alright. And I do believe I solved the problem, and now you guys know how to fix a screaming, squealing fan. High fives, folks. Alright. So, alright. Now I'm going to take this all apart again so I can get it back together again, because in order to put this piece back on, the fan blades have to come off. So, and when you're using things like pliers or a wrench or something like that, or anything that, where you're tightening down screws, nuts, always finger tighten first, and then like once you get the you know, once you get in there with your tool, give it one real, you know, one more really light turn just to get it tight. So, alrighty, I'm gonna unplug it. And I'm gonna get this put back where it was. I just really hope that like I get this thing put back together and it does what it's supposed to do instead of squealing again. Alright, gonna get my long screws. Just one to start with, and like I said, I'm just gonna finger tighten it. Gosh, I have to get closer so y'all can actually see what I'm doing. Get it down to where I really can't get it with my fingers anymore. Take the screwdriver. Come on, why aren't you going in? Dagnabbit. Alrighty, what's the problem? Okay, that's the problem. It wasn't in the correct spot. Come on. You heard me. Get in there. Oh, Christ. Maybe if I get the screw in there. Come on. Yeah, this is what happens when you fuck with something. Okay, got it. Now, I'm going to get it in there so that the other one doesn't give me such a hard time. Hope you all are enjoying watching me cuss at an inanimate object. Alrighty, that's all the finger tightening that I can do on that one. Alright, and my fingers are a little bit oily. Just going to wipe them off real quick. Alright, and when you're tightening screws down into plastic, you don't want to go too tight, because if you go too tight, you'll end up cracking the plastic. Even if not right away, it'll happen eventually. So you gotta leave a little bit of turn space. That's good. Alright, I could turn those tighter if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. That's kind of how you know how to stop. Alright. Put that back on where it was, and I'm going to get the fan blade back on. Once again, we're going to line up the letter D, and whoop, there we go. Alright, so where'd my little nut go? There it is. And we're going to finger tighten that on, and we're going what direction, kids? That's right, counterclockwise. I don't know if it looks counterclockwise on your screen. But I am putting it on counterclockwise. And you gotta be really careful to not strip your screw, and I'm gonna hold that still. Come on. Jeez, what's the problem? There it goes. Alright, now, and then tighten it down. There we go. And since that's metal, you can go fairly tight. It's not going to crack. It might bend it and warp it just a little bit. Actually, you just noticed that this blade's a little bit warped. It might be... I'm just going to leave it alone. It's not hurting anything. Alright, so our empty shell, there it is. And actually I'm going to get the inside of that with the cleaner real quick. I'm just going to spray it right on there. Why is this leaking? Alright, over here. Made it this far without getting dust and oil all over myself, so hopefully I can make it a little further without getting glass cleaner all over myself. And the reason I'm using glass cleaner is because if there's oil like on your fingers or in some place where you don't want the oil to be, glass cleaner has the ingredients in it are known for kind of busting grease and kind of busting oil, so that it'll kind of break it. And so that, it'll actually solve the problem. Alright. Not bad. I'm going to go ahead and get up in here. Flip it over again. Get up in there again. Clean, clean. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, the bottom's dusty because it sat on a dusty dresser for so long. Yuck. Alright. Lay her face down again. Actually, I'll put the base away from me so I can see what I'm doing a little better. Done with the oil, so we're going to get that out of the way, and I'm going to cap my glass cleaner. And actually I think I'll hit the blades one last time, just because they're smeary, and I mean, if I'm going to do something, I just want to do it right. Okay, so here we go. Now remember that that the motor housing needs to be facing down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and screw that back in. Come on, behave. Damn it. Alright, come on. Alright, so get that lined up. I'm just going to lay that on its side so I can get to these things a little easier. And there's not enough space to finger tighten, so we're going to use the screwdriver. Right on in there. Alright. One more. Alright, what's the problem here? Why? Okay, apparently I did something wrong. Let me see here. Come off. Like we did before. So like I said, this is a learning experience for me. Alright, so there we go. No? What the hell? These must be somewhat closer together. There we go. Alright, now they're all, like they all have a spot to go in. Alright, I'm just going to lay it down. So apparently these screw holes are not all the same distance apart, so you can't just put it in. And then what I'll do is I'll turn it around. I'll rotate it that way once I've got all the screws in so that the plug is facing down. Of course, you can leave it cattywampus if you want, but my personal preference is to put it back the way it was when I took it apart. I'm going to go ahead and rotate it, actually. There we go. Okay. Little tiny screws. Little tiny screws. So I'm going to put this in to help hold this thing still while I get the other screws in. Come on. There we go. These little tiny screws can be a real pain because they can definitely disappear on you really quick. Come on, go in straight. There we go. If it looks crooked, you know, anytime you're putting a screw into a pre-tapped, you know, a hole, when you're assembling something, if it looks like it's going in crooked, then it probably is crooked, in which case you need to like fix it immediately because you'll strip the threads, is what'll happen. Either the threads in the pre-tapped hole or the threads on the screw, and then you're stuck with missing a screw in something. Like I said, if you're going to do something, just do it right. Take pride in your work. Also, when you're working on a fan and you take the blades out to work on the motor assembly, in order to prevent yourself from accidentally putting the blades on up the wrong, like going with the wrong side up, whatever side is facing up when you lift the blades off of the assembly, lay it with that side up, and then leave it alone and don't touch it till you're ready to put it back on. So that's just my kindly advice, as it were. Alright, now we can get these guys, and once again I'm doing like crisscross, like I did, the same way I did when I took these things off. Come on. Come on. Whoop. Oh, they're crooked. There we go. I guess it would help if your stuff's lined up. Alright, and this is plastic, so I'm not going to go too tight. Like I said, if you go too tight when you're screwing plastic back onto something, what'll happen is the plastic will eventually crack. And that's no good. We don't want that. I've lived in a number of rental properties where all the light switch plates and power outlet plates were cracked from like the spots where the screws were, because some idiot handyman who didn't really know what he was doing, or an idiot landlord, put the screws in too tight and then cracked the plate. So we don't want that. It's tight enough, it's not going to go anywhere, but it's not so tight that it's like super duper tight. Just going to get the rest of these screws in here, and then pretty much just about be done. Alright, got all my screws in around this edge here, so your next step should be go around and just check them all to make sure they're all about the same. All pretty good and tight, which is fine because it's metal. Can't really crack metal. I mean, I guess you could if you tried hard enough, but not gonna happen. Alright, so alright, I deem it fixed, but I'm going to go plug it in the bedroom and hope that it does not decide to go full-on demon-possessed on me again. So, okay, so I decided to plug it in my little tiny kitchen instead of in the bedroom, just in case something went wrong and then I had to fight with unplugging it again, because it plugs in the bedroom like way back behind a piece of furniture and it's a pain in the butt. So, alright, here we go. I can still see that wobble. And there's a cat here. Ugh, go away. Freaking A, folks. Awesome sauce. Well, I guess that wraps up this video. Fan fixed, and now you know how to. If it's squealing, obviously. I don't think my expertise are at all at a level where I could rebuild a fan or fix an electrical problem on a fan, but one thing I do want to mention is that it seems as though repairing household appliances and household objects, fans, clocks, microwaves, dishwashers, things like, you know, repairing things is going by the wayside, and people seem more inclined to just buy new stuff, which I find incredibly wasteful. So, you know, learning how to fix household things, appliances and gadgets and stuff like that, it could prove to be highly valuable. So, definitely learn as much as you can about fixing things instead of just buying new. So anyway, before I end this video, I am going to actually put some adorable cat footage at the end. I might start doing that at the end of all my videos because my cat is pretty adorable. She has the zoomies pretty much 24/7 these days. The only time she doesn't have the zoomies is when she's sleeping, eating, or doing this weird thing where she sits and stares at her water dish. I don't know why she does it, but it's kind of weird and kind of creepy. It's like she just sits there and just stares at it. So anyway, I'm going to show some cat footage at the end of this video if I can get some footage of her actually like doing something really cute. So here comes cat footage. And just to kind of reinforce what I said about like fixing household things instead of throwing them away, this fan, as you can see, it's a fan, but it's not. It used to have a base, and it used to have like a swivel, you know, like it would oscillate, because you can see the pin back here, the oscillation activation, the pin. And here's my little yogurt cups. Like I said, I save these things like crazy because they're so useful. But yeah, what happened was the support pin that held the fan like in place so you could prop it up higher or adjust it lower broke and wasn't working, but the fan part worked fine. So I just took it apart and salvaged the electrical and then zip tied it to this thing, and now it can blow air from, like, it can pull air from the bedroom towards the back into my living room and craft area. So yes, it's ugly. Yes, it doesn't have anything guarding it because that actually was rusted and fell apart when I took it off. So yeah, but it is serving a purpose, and yeah, there's my garbage. So yeah, but I will say that, you know, we turn it off. Come on, it's plastic, so here. And it needs to be wiped off. So yeah, there's actually a zip tie holding that in place because the nut that was on there wouldn't go back on because it got stripped at some point. I think my dad tried to fiddle with this fan at one point and he messed it up. So anyway, but so low speed, it doesn't work. Medium speed kind of works. It'll kind of go in and out. And then high speed, yeah, high works, but like the low setting does not. So anyhow, this video is getting really long. So yeah, this is something that still worked, so I tinkered with it and figured out a way to put it to good use. I leave it on probably almost every day, but this fan, let me tell you, this fan, I remember this fan being in my parents' bedroom when I was a little tiny kid, and I was born in 1983, so this fan is probably more than 30 years old. So yeah, and it still works. And it doesn't make any funny noises or anything. It did in the past, but I fixed it, so all it took was just dropping, like I said, once again, dropping some oil down into the housing. Alright, so before I go, I am going to put some cat footage on here since she seems so intent on being in my videos. I'll show you guys the cat real quick. Chiquita Banana, what you doing? Is that your big envelope? Did Mommy put that there just for you? Says everything is for me. Yeesh. So she's got the after zoomy slump. She'll be zooming again here real soon. And she's such a sweet cat. You got your belly? That's your banana pudding? Yes. Oh, she's so spoiled rotten. She had teeth pulled recently, and so she's eating more. I guess before, like, her mouth was hurting. She had some bad teeth that had to come out, so since then, she's been eating more. And getting pudgy. That's right. Look at that belly on you, huh? We're gonna have to put you on a kitty treadmill. Yes. You're very cute. Alright, now Mommy's gotta go in the video. Alright, so, as always, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you found this video to be helpful and informative, and I guess fun to watch, if nothing else. So, and I hope you enjoyed the cat footage as well, and I hope that anytime you fix a fan, it goes well. And think of me, and also make sure to like, share, subscribe, blah blah blah. Put any questions in the comments. Things can get interesting. So anyway, that's all, and I'll see you kids later.